Right, shalom, shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Waharakah Kadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and honor to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. And as we can see here, man, Esau is forwarding his wicked agenda towards ultimately the mark of the beast. Okay, because the end game is to use the implantable RFID chip as part of the Internet of Bodies, all right, to tie or to constrain the people into this new slavery system, this new prison that he's trying to build. All right, and we done told you that the mark of the the mark of the B is the implantable RFID chip, and the day is gonna come when the chip is gonna be mandatory in order for you to take part in this man's society and everything that is within it, all the goods and services, yeah, buying and selling. All right. Now, this thing that's happened over the last year and a bit is just yet another manufactured crisis, which is going to play into the hands of their agenda, which they use. And there's going to be more crises that are going to push the people towards the mark of the B. Now look at this. Australia testing Orwellian facial recognition C tracking app. Right? Australia is developing an app that uses facial recognition and geolocation data to track its citizens in part of the country's draconian efforts to control the sea, with even the establishment leftist magazine The Atlantic branding the app Orwellian. Now, if you know about George Orwell was an insider, right? He was an insider, so he knew from then what the plans of the elite were. I mean, you can go back and listen to Aldous Huxley's speech at Berkeley, where he speaks about a lot of the things that's happening now, because they had the plans back then, right? The vision back then of how they wanted to enslave the Israelites and mankind. It's just that they had to build the technology. They had to build up the infrastructure in order to implement it, and it took them decades, but they're doing it. All right. It's one thing to have an idea; it's another thing to implement that idea, right? And that great idea is all leading towards the mark of the you-know-what, because the Lord have put it in their hearts to fulfill his will. Micah 2:1, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand, right? These super elites, they pretty much have control over the private and public sectors, right? So they can control the progression of civilization and society, and that's what they have been doing, and they've been leading the world towards this, what they call a new world order, fourth industrial revolution, which the implantable RFID is going to be a part of that. Okay, so we're in that time, man, and Australia seems to be like a testing ground, right? Because some countries are further ahead than others. Psalm 64:2 said, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Remember, you had Aaron Russo, he told how the Rockefeller told him straight, the end goal is to have all these people chipped. And the whole of society is going to operate based upon your ability to interact with the different digital systems. And if they don't like you or they don't rate you, they just turn off your chip. And that's that. You can't do nothing. Who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly did they shoot at him and fare not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? Because there's a lot of crises that they are manufacturing in these last days, And the reason for them to manufacture these crises is a problem reaction solution. They're going to create the crisis and the chaos, and then they're going to bring forward, then there's going to be a reaction of the people, save me, save me. And then their solution is going to be, yeah, we could save you. We got the technology, we have the infrastructure. We just need you to take this chip. And the people, the majority of people, even our own people, are going to gladly go for that. They search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search, yeah? Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. All right? So, evidently, we're in that time. When you see them pushing forward these technologies, it's only a matter of time. Like Klaus Schwab already told you about implantable RFID chips in the fourth industrial revolution. And all these crises are fast forwarding the fourth industrial revolution, right? Automation is more and more. That's why unemployment is going to skyrocket, because more and more businesses are turning to automation to save money. That was on Drudge Report the other day. Let me see if I could get whatever article that was, right? So they need less people anyway. So you already know what's going to... It's the article that came out. Do we need humans for that job? Automation booms after COV, you know what? Right, because that's also part of the plan. That's why they have a depopulation agenda, because they don't need as many slaves as they did before. Because, I mean, the robots and so forth can do a lot more of the labor. That's why they want to get rid of, what does he say, like 80% of the world's population. Yeah? Because as far as they're concerned, you serve no purpose in their new system. All right? You're more of a hindrance. Right? You're obsolete. Remember they had that thing called the obsolete man? You're obsolete. Yeah? The P didn't just threaten Americans' health when it slammed the US. In 2020, it may also have posed a long-term threat to many of their jobs. Faced with worker shortages and higher labor costs, companies are starting to automate service sector jobs that economists once considered safe, assuming that machines couldn't easily provide the human contact they believe customers would demand. Right? So everything's changing, man. Like I said, the market, you know what, the technology's here, the infrastructure's here. They just need a big enough crisis or crises in order to spring it on the people, and they will. So be prepared for more crisis, more judgment, more craziness, and in the midst of all that craziness, they're going to bring you that solution, and you have to be ready to resist it and seek after the solution of Yahweh Shai. So with that, I'm going to say Shalom.